Wait, don't scroll. Because what happened at this airport wasn't normal. It wasn't safe. And it definitely wasn't just another idle arrival. Screams everywhere. Cameras shaking. Security losing control. And in the middle of thousands of fans, Jimin and Jungkook were trapped. One step forward blocked. 1 second apart, impossible. And one small moment between them that made the entire crowd go silent. What really happened to Jikook that day? Welcome back to Jikook Lover. Before we start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe right now, because this might be the most intense airport moment they've ever faced. At first, it felt like any other morning. The airport lights were still pale and cold, reflecting softly off the polished floors. Rolling suitcases echoed through the terminal. A few sleepy passengers checked their phones. Coffee machines hissed quietly in the background. Everything looked ordinary. Too ordinary. No one could have predicted that within minutes, this calm space would turn into chaos. It started with a whisper. "They've landed." Just 2 simple words. But somehow, those words spread faster than fire. Suddenly, people began gathering near the arrival gate. Then more, and more. Phones were raised. Cameras turned on. Hearts started racing. The air changed. It grew heavier, charged with anticipation. Everyone was waiting for the same thing. For them. No official announcement. No schedule. Just instinct. And somehow, armies always know. Within moments, the once spacious hallway transformed into a sea of bodies. Shoulder to shoulder. Back to back. Security lines blurred. Breathing space disappeared. And then, the automatic doors slid open. The explosion of sound was unreal. Screams. Shouts. Names being called over and over again. Jimin. Jungkook. Over here. It didn't even sound human anymore. It sounded like a stadium. And through the noise, 2 familiar figures stepped out. Caps low. Masks on. Dark clothes. Moving fast. But even with half their faces hidden, there was no mistaking them. Jimin. Jungkook. Jikook. For a split second, everything froze. Then the crowd surged forward. Security immediately stretched their arms out, trying to hold people back. But it was impossible. Cameras pushed closer. Fans leaned in. Some nearly stumbled. Others were shaking just from being a few meters away. It wasn't just excitement. It was overwhelming. Dangerously overwhelming. And that's when things started to feel different. This wasn't the usual cheerful airport greeting. This felt tense. Tight. Almost suffocating. Every step they took became a struggle. 1 step forward, 2 steps blocked. Someone bumped into their shoulders. Someone else reached out too close. Phones hovered inches from their faces. There was no space, no air, no escape. But in the middle of all that chaos, fans noticed something. Something small, something subtle, something that changed the entire mood. Jungkook never walked ahead, not even once. He didn't let Jimin fall behind. Instead, he stayed right beside him, almost glued to him. When the crowd pushed from the left, Jungkook shifted left first. When security opened a narrow path, he positioned himself slightly in front. When someone got too close, his arm instinctively moved out, like a shield. It didn't look planned. It didn't look performative. It looked natural, automatic, like pure instinct. Like protecting Jimin was the only thing that mattered. And suddenly, the screaming fans weren't just screaming anymore. Some of them went quiet, because they saw it too. That protective energy, that constant checking, that silent communication. There was a moment, barely 2 seconds, when Jungkook leaned closer, his head tilting toward Jimin as if whispering something. Jimin nodded softly. No one heard the words, but everyone felt it. Was it "Are you okay"? Was it "Stay close"? Or something even more personal? That tiny interaction sent the internet into meltdown later. Because in the middle of thousands of people, it looked like they were in their own world. Like nothing else existed. Like the noise disappeared. Like it was just the 2 of them walking through a storm together. Meanwhile, security guards were visibly struggling. One staff member shouted directions. Another tried to hold back the crowd. Someone nearly tripped behind them. Cameras shook violently. It looked less like an airport arrival, and more like a survival scene. Yet somehow, they kept moving. Step by step, side by side, never separated. Videos from different angles began flooding social media within minutes. Shaky clips, zoomed-in screenshots, slow-motion edits. Every frame analyzed like evidence. Millions of views in hours. Fans replayed the same moments over and over. Look how Jungkook blocks the crowd. Did you see how Jimin grabbed his sleeve? They didn't let go of each other once. Why does it feel so different this time? People weren't just watching. They were feeling. Because this wasn't just celebrity chaos. It felt personal, raw, real. Two global superstars. Yet in that moment, they didn't look like untouchable idols. They looked human, vulnerable. Just two people trying to protect each other while the world closed in around them. And maybe that's why the clip hit so hard. Because behind the fame, behind the flashing cameras, behind the screaming crowds, there was something quieter, something softer, something that couldn't be faked. A connection that spoke louder than any words. Hours later, the debate exploded online. Was Jungkook just being a considerate teammate? Was it simple friendship? Or was there something deeper, something they've never openly shown but can't hide in moments like this? Why does he always stay so close? Why does Jimin seem calmer when Jungkook is right next to him? And why did this one airport walk make millions of fans around the world feel emotional for reasons they couldn't even explain? Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was everything. But one thing is certain. That day, that airport, those few intense minutes, didn't just show two idols walking through a crowd. It showed something that felt far more intimate, far more telling. But what made the moment even stranger was how quiet everything felt afterward. Not at the airport, of course. The screams were still deafening. Security was still shouting. Camera shutters kept firing like rapid gunshots. Yet online, it was like the entire fandom paused at the same time. Clips spread across Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube faster than anyone could keep up. Different angles, different zooms, different slow-motion edits. Every second stretched, replayed, dissected. And somehow, each version told the same story. Jungkook's shoulder brushing against Jimin's. Jimin unconsciously stepping closer when the crowd pushed too hard. Their pace matching perfectly, like they didn't even need to look at each other to move together. It didn't look rehearsed. It didn't look staged for cameras. If anything, it looked too real. Too instinctive. Like muscle memory built over years. Body language experts even started chiming in. Fan accounts began posting threads analyzing micro-expressions. Some claimed Jungkook's posture showed protective dominance. Others pointed out how Jimin subtly angled his body toward Jungkook, almost like seeking safety without realizing it. It sounded dramatic, but once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. And that's when the comments started flooding in. I've never seen them this tense before. The way Jungkook keeps checking on Jimin is making me emotional. This isn't fan service, this is instinct. It feels like they forgot cameras even existed. The narrative shifted. This wasn't just another chaotic airport scene anymore. It became something symbolic. A moment that fans felt revealed more than any stage performance ever could. Because on stage, idols perform. At the airport, there's no script, no choreography, no time to think, only raw reactions. And raw reactions never lie. As they finally reached the exit doors, surrounded tightly by staff, there was one last moment that fans kept replaying. Just before stepping outside, Jungkook slightly slowed down. Just enough to make sure Jimin was right beside him. Not behind, not separated, beside him. Then they disappeared into the waiting car, doors closing quickly, engine starting, security still holding back the crowd. And just like that, they were gone. But the feeling they left behind, it lingered. Hours later, the airport looked normal again. Travelers returned to their routines. Floors were cleaned, voices lowered, as if nothing had happened. But for the fans who were there, and the millions who watched through shaky screens, it didn't feel small at all. It felt like witnessing something private in public, something accidental, something honest. Because sometimes, the most revealing moments aren't the grand gestures. They're the tiny ones. A hand hovering close, a shoulder acting like a shield, a whisper no one else was meant to hear.